Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode 53. Andy, this is the sports edition. Happy Monday night.
It's that leap year. We get week 53 here. So
it's one of those rare deals. Today's November 4th, 2024. We'll have some sports, some updates on sports, high school, national, college. We have a trivia question for tonight. And then, like we said, next week we'll be in season number 6, Andy.
Very excited. Big things coming.
Yes, I've got a trivia question. It relates to football.
Okay.
Relates to football and cheerleading, Andy. This will be a good one. You'll probably know this one. What sport, how do I say this? 1898 on this day, cheerleading was created eventually. Essentially this week. For what sport? Cheerleading was never around until 1898. This week, 1898 this week. But what sport did it really originate from to blossom into what it is today?
Debate.
We'll have the answer at the end of this.
Not the debate team?
No, not the glee club, not the debate team, but it's cheerleading as we know it today, with skirts and ladies and gymnastics and tumbling and things and throwing up into the air. Throwing ladies up into the air and whatnot. Okay, share your screen here.
All right, here we go. I'm getting political on you.
Here we go.
This is the only thing I'm doing political.
Yes.
NFL owners have donated to the presidential campaigns elections, and here's how much they gave.
Oh, interesting.
If you'll notice, Stephen Ross of the Dolphins is on both sides.
Okay.
You wonder why the Dolphins can't run a good organization. Man, don't even know what party to give money to.
Oh, interesting. No, I did not see this. This is very interesting.
You got 4 on the Democratic side there. Ziggy Wilf, Stephen Ross, Art Rooney, and Glazer from Tampa. Not real big surprises there.
Okay.
Then the Republicans, and this is not everybody, of course, not every owner gave, or maybe they gave less than this, so they didn't put them on there. But there's a guy from the Titans, $3,300. I know people personally who gave more than that to political parties. Okay, you're an owner of a team.
Yeah, interesting.
And what do you buy, a shirt? I don't know.
Yes,
that's what was funny. I saw a Dolphin guy on both sides. That kind of, and Jerry Jones only $20K. That's kind of surprising there too.
Okay.
In fact, the 2 owners of Tampa, there was one on each side, but the 2 different owners gave different amounts. The brothers each gave different amounts.
Oh, that's an interesting.
One guy gave $3.2 million. The other gave $722,000. So
it's a good water cooler talk.
Yes. There. How those Florida teams don't know what they're doing. With the hanging chads in Florida, just funny how that all works out.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Breaking news from yesterday. Coach Greg Popovich suffered a health issue on Saturday's game. Not much more has come out. A little has come out, but you know us. We don't jump on those. We're going to wait and see what happens. Sending out prayers to Pop and his family and the team and everybody else. One of the nicest guys in the league. I've never heard a bad word about him. And if you can find one, let me know because I'll call you a liar because there's no bad words about Pop.
Good guy.
Okay, it's that time of year again. Free agency. I'm just going to touch on the Twins and Mets free agencies a little bit just to show you the ridiculousness of it all. First, Alex Kirilloff retires. But he had some nagging injury things. I think he got to the point in his life going, I'm set financially. I want to walk normal. I want to be able to lift my arms above my head, stuff like that. So no issues with that on that. The other guys elected free agency does not mean they're not coming back. It's a paperwork thing. Like I'm going to explain with the Mets ones here. If you've ever been involved with a company where you were there and they were sold, you're technically fired. And then 2 minutes later, when they find the right paperwork, you're rehired by the new company. That's kind of like when these guys take a free agency or not taking the offer year or something like that. That's what they're doing. They think they're worth a couple more bucks. They want to see what happens.
Now, this last it was actually summertime, Andy. On one of our shows, I made the prediction. Now, I'm not very good at predictions, Andy.
No, you're not.
I get a lot wrong. I always seem to lose the bets. But I did say, when Alex Kirilloff was announced that, he was hurt for 6 weeks and didn't let management know,
Yeah.
Waco didn't take too kindly to that by saying, if you got an nagging injury, you got to let us know. We got to manage that. You can't just hide it and hope no one finds out about it. It was the next Monday night show. I said, I don't think Kirilloff will be a Twin any longer. He'll never be back up as a Twin. So I don't think his market was that big to go free agent. He probably says, look, I'm done. I'm not going to deal with this. But he's a former #1 pick, a first-round draft pick.
Yep. That's
gone.
1 point for Dan. There we go.
It's one. So that's the only one, but I just don't think that's sat right. Kepler will be back with someone else. I think these other players will all be with other teams. But
and not saying Alex won't come back as a minor league instructional guy or something like that. He might, he still has that itch to be around it.
A hitting coach, a batting, an outfielder, some kind of related to baseball. Desclafani never pitched for the Twins. And then Thielbar, after his collapse late in the season, I think is done. Santana was
he's very good. He got the Gold Glove.
Very
he's fighting for a few more bucks,
Kepler, yep, that'll be it. Way expensive to sign Kepler as well to keep him on. So that is.
Here's the Mets headlines off their page. Oh, one guy declines his 25-player option. And then the next headline, oh, he was offered a qualifying offer. So that's what I'm saying. Sold, rebought. Yeah, it's paperwork. So is it greed? Maybe it's greed. Are you going in asking for a raise? It's your review. It's the same type of thing,
Today, the Minnesota Twins announced that they what's the word called? They were optioned. 5 additional players, not the ones that you had on there, but 5 additional players were not renewed for options. They were off of the 40-man roster. But if you read the article, they will all, I repeat, all will be back with the Twins, but just in a minor league role. And so it is very confusing.
It's like the Mets here today. Oh, they activated a bunch of guys off the 60-day list. Oh, they moved that guy to the Syracuse Mets, the AAA team. It's all paperwork. So when you come back to spring training or come back as a minor league invitee or you're this, it's all how their contract goes. Not saying they're screwing these guys on bonuses going, oh, you didn't come back on the major roster. You don't get your bonus. Not saying that, but it's setting the table up. Okay, DJ Stewart, outrighted to Syracuse Mets, meaning you can fight for a job on the team, but you're fighting for the job. You're not coming back as opening day DH right now. Earn it. That's what they're saying on some of this stuff. And some of those guys need that kick in the shorts for that, Yeah.
And 60-day injured list ends today for every baseball team.
Yeah, so these guys coming off, it's a formality.
It's flushing out all these injured lists.
You're just clearing up your paperwork. It's start from zero. And here are the top 2025 MLB free agents.
Okay.
They haven't listed the top 10. I just say here's 10 of them. A lot of these guys are listed as free agents, but I guarantee you at least 4 or 5 of these guys re-sign with the same team.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. There's Alonso at number 7, Max Field at 6, and Max Field's the one that I'm watching.
Okay.
He started like a house of fire, then got hurt. So who's going to take the chance on him? That's the one I'm kind of watching on. And the Oakland A's today officially dropped Oakland. There'll just be no city name. There's going to be ATH for initials for athletics when you see them on schedules.
Okay.
I think they're playing Sacramento or somewhere next year to the new stadium.
West Sacramento is where they're going to be playing. Yeah. Correct. So no more Oakland. Okay.
And they're not going by Sacramento A's. They're just going to go by the A's or the Athletics or something like that. I don't know. It would be a cool jersey to have, kind of like the Washington football team for a couple of years.
Yeah, get those jerseys, get those caps. They are going to be collectible, I think, one day. Rare, very rare.
High school football. Here we go. Here's the next 10 minutes of our show here. Here is the 6A. Now, it's kind of, they still call it the state tournament. We've covered this before. Here's the quarterfinals. You got Lakeville North and Champlin Park, and Lakeville South and Anoka. The lower half of that bracket. Oh, sorry, that right? Those were the teams that won. Lakeville North and Anoka were the winners. They move on. I'm sorry, I missed that part. Minnetonka was over Rochester Mayo. They move on, and they will play Blaine, who beat Forest Lake. The right side of the board, Mounds View beat Prior Lake by 1, but you only need 1 to win. And Shakopee over St. Michael Albertville. Lower half of that bracket, Maple Grove over Eden Prairie. Oh, that breaks my little heart.
Shut up.
Was that 34-0? Am I reading that right? Oh,
yes.
That's terrible. It's terrible. And if I need Dino once, so you can't have everything. So 5A, if my math is correct. 1, 2, 5A. Yeah, Elk River and Monticello, Robbinsdale, Armstrong, and Alexandria area. Then Owatonna and Cretan, Durham Hall. And then Chan, your defending champs, and St. Thomas Academy. So that should be a good game right there. 4A, Becker and the Academy of Holy Angels. It's kind of like the Angels of Anaheim or something like that. I don't know. Hermantown and Orono, Tino Grace, Hill Murray, Byron against Marshall. 3A, Fergus and Albany. Now, I just got to stop right there. Dan and I both have family and friends up there. We can call him just Fergus.
Yes, we can.
We can get away with that. Just Fergus. So Pequot Lakes and Annandale, Stewartville Holy Family Catholic, and Dassel, Cato, and Fairmont. Rounding out 3A. 2A, Kimball area against Moose Lake Willow River. Barnesville against Staples Motley, Chatfield and Triton, Jackson County Central, and Central Public Schools. A, Upsala, Swanville against Parker's Prairie. Monoman, the Thunder, and Woburn, the Thunderbirds against Deer River. Minneota against Lester Prairie. You saw a tape we had Lester Prairie coming home to their hometown afterwards.
Yes.
Rah, rah, rah. The Rocks alma mater, Lester Prairie, by the way.
Okay, yes.
And Goodhue and Springfield. And now, I was going to make this a soapbox. It's an unofficial soapbox, this next one. It's listed as 9-person football.
Yes.
Now, here, I'm just going to say this. This is my opinion. The schools that have what I call 9-man football, I'm pretty sure the girls playing on there are okay with it being 9-man. They're not a bunch of Barbies who are going to be it's person. I have a tough time believing the gals who play 9 are upset that it's called 9-man. That's just my opinion. Please send your letters to Andy at sportsandsongspodcast.com.
Yeah, football, the state of Minnesota and other states where they don't have a full roster of starting players in the small schools, it's 9-man. It's always been 9-man.
It's all 9-person.
It's high school, therefore it should be boys anyway.
Right.
Man. But it's always men. But yes, there's been girls on the big football teams and small, the 9-mans. But
it's not the 6A man. It's not the 6A person team. It's the 6A team.
Yeah. They don't need to do that. That's a soapbox. That's a good topic for a soapbox, but unnecessary.
But here's your participants. Mountain Iron Bowl against Stephen Argyle. Fertile Beltrami against Cromwell Wright area. Leroy, Osterville, Lyle. That sounds like a law firm.
It's Leroy Ostrander. Yes. Very small towns these are. Little Ostrander and Lyle Pacelli. Yes.
It sounds like a law firm.
It does.
Renville County West.
CPA firm.
Hills Beaver Creek and Border. Hills Beaver Creek sounds like a really bad bar you'd go into somewhere. Dirt floors and peanut shells all over or something like that, you know.
Yes, yes.
Girls volleyball, still with the state tournament here. Here we go. Rah, rah, rah. Here is your A. Mayor Lutheran. Local girls, number 1. And here they have them ranked 1 through 8. So Mayor Lutheran's your 1 seed. And there you go. You see everybody else on there. Minneota's over on the 2 seed on the other side. Probably look at those 2 in the finals, but still got to play the games. 2A, Albany's the 1 seed. Chesterfield on the other side, it's a 2. And there you go. Southwest Christian at 4. They're always kind of a thorn in your side. So that's
in Chaska, yes.
Yeah. So Southwest Christian Albany could be a good matchup there. And then 3A, Delano is your 1 seed. Hermantown, there's the 8. They got them there. Dundarden. And so there's your other participants. And then 4A, Lakeville South, Apple Valley, St. Michael Albertville against Roseville, Champlain Park, Anoka, East Ridge, and Tonka. Round out your 8 there. All right, NASCAR. A couple things on NASCAR. Here we go. They're down to the final 4. They have one race this Sunday for it all. Blaney, Logano, Reddick, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron are your final 4. Cars 12, 22, 45, and 24. Pick your favorite number. 2 o'clock Minnesota time from Phoenix. Now, it's the winner take all, but you don't have to win the race. You just need to have the most points out of these 4 guys.
Okay.
So it's a hard button for me to push.
I watched about 20 laps at Martinville here on Sunday. Very interesting how, even listening just to the race with the announcers saying who can win, who needs to win, who's all the strategy that's coming down to this. Now they're down to the last race. So
and this one too, because you get points for winning stages, points for how many laps you've led, this, that, the other thing. So when you pit, how you pit, how long you pit, if you let somebody else pass you, who cares, whatever. Very intriguing to go.
And there's how many cars? Is it 38?
The full line, 32 cars still, yep. Everybody's gonna be there.
So this is down in Avonville, just outside of Phoenix. It's a 1 mile lap, only 312 laps.
Because there's also manufacturer points and owner points and everything else. So they're still running. Mm-hmm. These 4 guys will not be the top 4 finishers because there's like I said, so Ford and Toyota, those Ford guys are racing for that. Owners points, stuff like that. So there you go. But here we go. They're making a Days of Thunder 2.
Ooh, I did not know this.
Don't ooh. No.
Interesting.
Just you let it go.
We're here to educate. We're here to educate.
You had a good thing. Let it lie.
I'll
tell you right now, I'm not watching it.
Okay.
Boycotting it. Not
just
watching it.
For spite. Okay. Yes.
One more thing. I do have one more thing. The Ovi watch. Alex Ovechkin, 860 goals, coming up on Gretzky's 894. Yes, he's played a lot more games. We're not going to get into that. Total goals is total goals. We've talked about it in other sports.
Yep.
You hit more home runs, you make more baskets. I don't care how many more games you made it. Still most goals. So we have the Ovi watch. When this record is broken, we will have a special guest on the show. I guarantee it. Special guest actually reached out to me to be on the show when one of his favorite players, Alex Ovechkin, breaks the record. So
interesting. I like that.
All I got to say is when he breaks the record, freshen up on your Russian.
Okay. Noted.
That's what I got. That's the news that's fit to print. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of the baseball free agencies. Oh, they didn't offer this. He offered that, blah, blah, blah. It's paperwork stuff. Don't worry until after Christmas, unless you see a hard trade sign go through. I don't expect anything happening until after the first of the year.
Yeah, it's cleaning the slate for the rosters. Each team now is on their 40-man roster. They're cleaning up those extra guys. They'll have room now to do things. And the hot stove is really going to be beginning now anytime because these last issues of housekeeping notes that need to take done at the end of the 2024 season. So the other thing, and I just got asked this the other day, is when are the awards given out? And
they've started.
Gold Glove is done, and they're going to trickle these out over like an 8-week period. It seems like it just drags. Maybe it's 6 weeks. Drags.
The American League Cy Young. The next day is the National League Cy Young. Then this and that.
So it's going to be a steady drip, a constant drip in the press for Major League Baseball. And what they do is they do that just to keep Major League Baseball in the press, in the news. But the season's over. The season is done. The World Series is completed. But we'll have announcements of those things. Roster updates, things like that. But really,
follow us on social media, you'll see it all there.
All that's going on in baseball now is the Mexican Pacific League and the Arizona Fall League is really all that's going on right now. The other thing was for football, state high school football. I know it's confusing with all the classes. Just think of it as they're down to the Elite Eight right now for all the classes, except for the big ones. It's the Elite Eight. It's single elimination, but it's going to be down to the Final Four after this weekend. So It's state because it's the final 8. There's 8 sections. So they're in the state tournament. It's not the same as the Prep Bowl, which is around Thanksgiving, but there are 8 teams left in each class, single elimination. It'll get down to final 4, 2, etc. Class 6A, everyone in 6A is just in the tournament. So they all start, they're down to final 4 now, I think, right? Or they're down to, 8. So that'll be fun to watch. Volleyball's in the state. The other thing was college football, Andy. The Gophers played number 24 ranked Illinois, Fighting Illini on the road and won. There was a bunch of field goals, lots of scoring at the end, a close game. But the Gophers have won 4 straight. I'm sure we could get Jeremy Quass on the line down the road to talk about them because their Gophers are doing well.
They're eligible, I believe.
Now they're eligible bowl. The magic number is always 6 wins. You play 12 games. You need to get to 6 just to be eligible to play in a bowl. It's not a hard number, but it gets you into that discussion at least. So the Gophers are there and looking good. The Vikings won again. I got the Vikings cap on, and they found the way to win. I didn't stay up for the whole game. It was on Sunday night. They flexed it to the later game. They don't look bad. They don't look good, but they're finding ways to win, which is fine.
And this isn't a good or bad thing. This is just a non-Viking fan saying this. I really appreciate the fact that they won 3 passing touchdowns and not a single one to Justin Jefferson. That shows that they can win the tight games without the big man coming through. They are a team. That's what's scary to watch with them right now.
Yeah, they've got good tight ends, good receivers, good running backs, and a good mix of everyone.
Yep.
When they still have the all-stars, the big names, the superstars, but you don't need to have them in. One of the plays I saw on one of the receptions was, you're getting all this double coverage on the big guys, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, so he's winning, just not on paper.
Then you get the guy wide open. Addison, a couple good plays. Defense is looking good. The Vikings division is tough with the Detroit.
I take that back. Jefferson didn't make a good catch to win the game because he caught the onside kick. It fell right in his lap.
Okay.
So yes, he did have a catch doing it, but no touchdowns for him. But him getting double covered opens up the other guys. So
yeah, it really
helps. On paper.
They're fun to watch. The wild one, the Timberwolves are just getting started for NBA basketball and college football pro.
College hockey, college basketball starting now.
All this is winding up. It's fun time to watch. Now the weather is going to be changing here as well for these outdoor football games. These high school football games are going to be outdoors for the next 2 weekends. I think it's going to be interesting. And then once they get into that prep bowl, those semifinal games, everything will be indoors. Now I've got a trivia question, Andy.
All right.
Before the episode started,
I think I got an answer for you.
1898, which sport created what is now called cheerleading? What sport was it?
Well, since the season is starting, I'm going to say basketball.
Okay. The answer, Andy, is football. College football was the first team.
And what school?
The reason it's relevant here, the trivia question. Minnesota, once again, University of Minnesota, first team ever to have a cheerleading squad or someone direct or lead the cheers at a sporting event, which now become it's called cheerleading. Now, this was 1898. Check this out, Andy. University of Minnesota football game in 1898, November 2nd.
Check out those jackets and bow ties.
These are all men. One with the blowhorn. They led and directed the rah rah rah, the ski-yuma chant.
Love the bow ties there, boys.
Yes. And the other schools around the nation watched this, and they started copying this to get the fans riled up for the game and ready to go. And they've been having this ever since, whether it's the student section or the fan section or the super fans or the cheerleaders down on the field, the ladies. This is where it started. Another first for Minnesota. As far as history, the state of Minnesota, going back to the Nerf football and whatnot, a lot of things came out of the state.
This is not the same cheerleading are going to see halftime of the Grambling Southern game?
No,
not the same thing.
Not the same.
No, different.
But Minnesota, once again, another trivia answer of a trivia question.
Here we lead the way again.
Cheerleading began Minnesota with the men's football game in 1898. That kind of blows my mind.
And we didn't bring it up on here, but a couple of weeks ago was the anniversary of when they started ranking football teams.
Yes.
The first team to be ranked number 1 was who? The Minnesota Gophers.
Correct. And that was what? 59, 60, 61? Yep. So first time
all downhill ever since.
And they've never been back there since, essentially. But, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, the very first home run hitting contest.
Metrodome.
1985. Metrodome.
Won by Tom Bernansky.
Tom Bernansky and company, that was the first time they ever did that, and that's one of the most popular things now. So Minnesotans do have things to cheer about, even though we don't maybe win necessarily titles, but a lot of the history of various things in sports have originated here. Interesting stuff. That's all I've got. Anything else, Andy?
No, like I said, high school sports is coming up. If your team's going to make it and you want to come on and you want to rah your team, let us know. Love to have you on. Tell us, you can pump up your team. Tell us why you think they're going to win. Tell us why.
Whether it's volleyball, basketball, wrestling, any sport,
any high school or college,
hockey,
St. Cloud State, and you want to come talk college hockey, let us know. We'll laugh at you, but you're welcome to come on.
Awesome. All right, sounds good. Have a good week.
Bye.
See ya.